Akosejaye. It's a, the Yoruba phrase for doing a research, a detailed research about a child that is coming into the world, a newborn baby, to say, okay, what kind of life is this one going to live? What are the issues to address in his or her life for him or her to live a meaningful life? So, and that is done through the feet. That's why it's referred to as Akosejaye. The research is done through the feet. When a child is born, usually it's done on the third day. A child will be taken to uh, a, a herbalist or a diviner. Now, the herbalist or the diviner will spread a magical powder on divination board, okay, divination board, and then the 2 feet of the child will be placed on the divination board. Now, the impression that the feet has made on divination board is what is used for the divination. So the child's feet are put on the divination board, and then the powder under the divination board is cooked, and that's used for the divination. Okay, now that's why it's referred to as Akosejaye, that through the feet of a child, one can uh, make an in-depth analysis of the kind of child that child is, of the kind of life that child will live, of the difficulties that that child will meet in life, and of course, if there are sacrifices to be offered to ensure that those difficulties don't become the ruins of the life of that child, depending on the outcome of the divination. Depending on the outcome. Now, some outcomes require that as soon as the child is growing up, as soon as the child is sensible enough to understand the lessons the parents are trying to teach him or her, such things will be related to the child. Okay, for example, there are some children that because of that divination, okay, that are Akosejaye research. There are some children that are not expected to put on any colored dress. So right from when the child is conscious of, okay, I can put on my clothes, that child will be tutored on the fact that, look, because of the findings we have done about the kind of life you will live, you are not to put on colored dresses. You are just to put on plain white. Okay, and then there are some children that they will tell them, look, wow, whenever you are going out, make sure you don't return when it's dark. Okay, because the findings may show that when they are returning when it's dark, they may encounter some malevolent spirits. So don't return when it's dark. If it's getting dark, stay where you are past night there. Okay, and then there are some children that they will tell them that, look, if this child leaves this area, that child will not prosper. So they will begin to drum it into the understanding of that child that, look, this is where you are to stay, this is where you are to do your things, this is where you are to prosper. So that child or the children may be informed of the things that are pertinent to their lives right from when they are already gaining understanding. They can listen to their parents, they can respond to what their parents are saying, and then from that point, the children can be informed about the predestination research they have done about their lives. When you talk of Akosejaye, is a research into, okay, this newborn baby is coming to the earth. What kind of child is this? Okay, now there's a portion in the Bible that refers to a child as a proper child. Okay, so they want to find out what kind of child is this. Is it a child that will bring troubles to the family? Is it a child that will open doors of blessing to the family? Because there are some children that when they come to the family, the fortune of the family will change for good. They may be struggling, they may be deeply mad in poverty, in the challenges, but by the coming of that child, their stories change for good. So they want to find out what kind of child is this. Is it a child that will add blessing to us, or a child that will bring challenges to us? The good thing about it, regardless of the religion that you lay claims to, you can still pray and ask God what kind of child this is. The only thing is that you are not doing it through the way the diviners will do it. You can still pray and say, what kind of child am I having? What kind of child is this? Okay, and so God can reveal to you whether you are a diviner, whether you are an African traditional worshiper, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim. You can still gain understanding into the future of that child, into the kind of child, into the kind of child that child is. Okay, and so through that you can begin to say, okay, this is the child, this is the child God is giving me. When we had our first son, what God revealed to us is that this child is a prophet. When we had our first son, and that made us to give him, among other names we gave him Jeremiah. Although he doesn't answer the full names now, he simply answers Jerry. Okay, and he lives it. He lives it. There are some things that I cannot say here on camera. There are some things that we do or say that I say, truly, thank you, Lord, because you reveal the kind of child this one is. So, we may not call it Akosejaye, but we can ask God, what kind of child are you giving me? Who is this child? What kind of life will he or she live? And because of our parental responsibilities, the oversight function we have, we can begin to guide the child along the things that God has spoken to us about him or her. And at the appropriate time, like you asked moments ago, you can begin to tell that child, this is who God says you are. Pray and hope to live according to what God has revealed about you.
So this the historical roots of Akosejaye, is it related to the Yoruba speaking people in the western part of Nigeria, or is it do they practice it in other parts of Nigeria or other tribes?
Akosejaye is what is done by virtually all tribes in Nigeria. The only difference is the way or the method of getting it done. There is no tribe that does not research into the kind of child that they have. There is no tribe. The method is what is different. Okay, as I explained to you, the way Yoruba people will do it is to place the feet of the child on a magical board, on a divination board with magical powder, and then scoop the powder under the feet of that child, and then it's with that powder they have scooped under the feet that they will use in divination. That, okay, yes, this is the powder from the feet of this newborn. What kind of life will he or she live? Okay, because the understanding is that whether you are walking towards blessings or you are walking towards destruction, either way is a walk towards that particular thing. Okay, and that's why Christians will pray that, Lord, let your footsteps be my pathway so that I don't stray. Okay, now the Akosejaye basically in the understanding of the Yorubas is to say, okay, let us do a research. Let us ask questions from the diviner. Okay, that what can we do that this child does not stray from purpose? Because every child that is born to fulfill a purpose. And so when the divination research is done, which we now call Akosejaye, is done with the intent to say, okay, what can we do to guide the footsteps of this one, so that it will remain on course, it will not stray. Because more often than not, people stray are people they were born properly, but because they didn't want guidance, or they lack guidance, either way they stray from purpose and they stray into destruction. And maybe let me also add this. You have not asked the question, but let me add this. Sometimes if the opportunity to do an Akosejaye research is missed, if the window is missed at a particular age, a child in the teenage years will be taken to Igbo Odu. Igbo Odu simply means divination forest. Okay, divination forest. That's where that child will be made to carry out a particular sacrifice, okay, to also determine what kind of child he or she is, and then if there's a sacrifice to carry too, or to yes, to carry, to ensure that that child does not that that child lives uh, a meaningful life, it also be done in that forest. The first one is, if it's a newborn baby, the feet will be placed on divination board with a magical powder. The imprint of the feet of that child, or the powder under the feet of that child, will be used for divination. But where that window is missed, at a teenage year, the child will be taken into a divination forest, Igbodu, where the research will be done, and then appropriate sacrifice will be carried out. I'm going to synchronize your questions. First, that a child turns out badly, it's not the case of that an Akosejaye has not been done. That a child turns out badly. When that happens, more often than not, go into the life of that child. The parents sleep, or they slept on duty. When parents sleep on duty, or they have slept on duty, that child will turn out badly. Now, right from primary school, you have not given a stylish pen to your child, and your child returns from school, and he brings home stylish pens. You say, this pen is good, though. Where did you get it from? It's my friend that gave me. That's the way it starts. If any child brings anything home, because it's my wife or their mother that looks into their bags and sees any strange thing, the next morning she will follow the child to the school. Show me the child that gave you that thing, and then the story will change. I want to see the child that gave you that thing. And you, did you give him, or did he steal it from you? So more often than not, parents have slept on duty. They don't do the needful things, the oversight function of parents. And so in fact, a lot of parents are their absentee parents. A lot of parents, they are absentee parents. They don't know what's going on in the life of their children. And so the children, by and large, live on their own terms. And if you allow children to live on their own terms, they will not turn out well in life. That's the way it is. They will not turn out well in life. And so it's not a question of a case of, if they did a predestination research and they know the kind of life this child will live, maybe this is not what happened. That's a different ballgame. Every parent has a responsibility to tutor, to guide, to teach, and to put the child in the proper road of righteousness. That these are the things to do, these are the things you cannot do. It's the responsibility of parents. When they missed out on those responsibilities, when they have slept on duty, those children will not turn out well in life. It's QED, it's proven. They will not turn out well in life. That's one. The other one is the case of, if they know that this child will turn out as an armed robber, right from the early life, they will begin to tell the child, don't take what does not belong to you. Your predestination research that we did forbids you to take what does not belong to you. So if that child already knows that, look, I'm not to take what belongs to any other person, I should just be happy with what belongs to me, that child will begin to walk towards that line. But if that child has to understand that, look, don't add what does not belong to your own, don't add what belongs to another person to your own. If that child knows that and is working consciously towards that, being guided consciously at home and at school, that child will not turn out to be an armed robber. But because there is no guidance, there is no predestination research, there are no questions asked about what kind of life this child will live. Once that is not also available, nobody will be able to tell the child that, look, this is a no-go area for you. This is a no-go area for you. So once that is not there, then that challenge too can show up later in life.